Today we are gonna get to know Lauren from Simple Aquariums just that little bit better in my brand new series called 10 Questions with. Let's go. What's up, coral people? My name is Remy and this is the Bahama Llama YouTube channel. You have no idea how much I've wanted to do that. If you could please like, subscribe, turn on that bell notification so that you're notified when I'm uploading new videos.
Lauren, what are you doing?
I'm starting the video.
What?
I thought, you know,
what's going on?
The video's about me. I could potentially start it and wanted to do the finger tick thing.
And you did a splendid job. Thank you for all of the extra editing I had to do on my name tag. Welcome to 10 Questions with. Let's get to know Lauren just a little bit better. Excel Reefer wants to know if there are any restrictions that prevent you from getting any livestock that you want.
Yes, that is an interesting question. So I remember a while ago someone asking me if we could get bumblebee gobies over here in Australia, and I remember looking everywhere and we could not get them here in Australia. So we definitely have some limitations on certain fish that we can and can't get into Australia. I feel like coral-wise we're pretty sorted over here. We've got a pretty extensive range. But even state to state, it varies. So in WA, I can have koi fish, but on the other side of Australia, in Melbourne and Queensland, they can't have koi fish over there, which is just crazy. So,
congratulations on recently passing 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's a big deal.
Thank you.
One of your most popular videos is testing natural seawater. How have those results influenced how you reef at home? Similarly, have you taken any inspiration from the ocean that surrounds you?
Yeah, that was lots of fun making that video. And it was so interesting. And I still find the parameters of the ocean to be so similar to that video. So it's very interesting. And I get quite a lot of comments and people saying, you know, you're gonna get all these parasites and you're just infesting your water with all this bad stuff, which I actually look at it as there's a lot of good stuff in there that you cannot get in synthetic salts. And it's actually quite commonly done here in Australia, people getting natural seawater. I think we're really lucky with some really beautiful ocean water near us that's especially where I live, very uncontaminated. Uncontaminated, is that a word? But it's very beautiful, fresh, clean water. So I guess it's definitely influenced how I reef at home. It is a lot more simple now. I'm not mixing salt anymore. I'm using it on both of my reef tanks, just collecting fresh, natural seawater and putting it straight into the tanks. So it's definitely influenced it in that it is just completely taken over how I do my water changes now. It is so easy and I like to do it fresh as well. So I'm not storing the water. As soon as I collect it from the ocean, it's going straight into the tank. It's not sitting around or anything like that. So it's as fresh as it gets, honestly. In terms of inspiration from the ocean for my tanks, I don't think there's any one thing that I could say this thing from the ocean has inspired my tank and I have done this in my tank because of the ocean or anything like that. But I am so lucky to have such beautiful ocean life around me. I'd love to get my diving ticket to be able to go and dive proper reefs one day. And maybe after those sort of experiences, I might have some awesome ideas and inspiration for corals. But yeah, I'm just so lucky to live where I live. So it's awesome. Yeah.
I sincerely love the intros to all of your videos when you're like out on the beach, because it just makes me want to move to a coast so I can be near the ocean. I don't know if that's ever gonna happen, but at least we get to live vicariously through you. Greenhorn Reefer wants to know how you keep up with Aiptasia.
Yes, well, I had Aiptasia in my 6-foot tank and I ended up just buying 2 Australian stripy fish. They've completely wiped it out. It's non-existent anymore. It's not an issue. So they absolutely went to town eating it. I know someone locally as well who had so much Aiptasia in his tank, didn't know how to deal with it. He ended up getting 5 baby Australian stripies and they just demolished it and had an absolute feast in his tank. So it seems to be a pretty common thing for us Australians, especially because they're quite cheap over here as well. I've heard they're upwards of $100 over in the US, whereas they're like $15 to $20 over here. So yeah, if I've got the room in the tank, I would just whack in a couple of stripies. Or in my water box, I have used the glue method, using just some super glue gel and gluing over them, and that seems to work. So yeah, either or, but yeah.
I've always just used peppermint shrimp for Aiptasia, and that seems to work pretty well. You can always use Aiptasia X, or Bergia nudibranchs actually do a pretty good job as well, from what I've been told. I have not used them because I always have fish that like to pick on nudies. So you are quickly becoming known for your short form videos on TikTok, on Instagram. How would you compare creating a full-length YouTube video to a short?
Yes, well, I enjoy doing both. I think the thing I like about shorts is it's another way, or TikToks and stuff like that. It's a way that I can express my personality through a different way. I like to just have fun and muck around a little bit, not take things too seriously, be a bit lighthearted. So, it took a while to find that little groove and what I enjoy creating. And so I find it fun as something that I can do on the side to sort of add to my YouTube channel. I like the YouTube channel side of things when, you can tell stories and actually go into detail about a lot of things. Like I get people on TikTok saying, can you show me how to do this? And it's just like, or can you show me this part of the tank? And it's just like, that's what my YouTube channel's for. It's got that fun side, creating shorts and TikToks, which is just for fun and for a bit of a laugh, really. And then, for any of the nitty gritty stuff, then you can go over to YouTube, where I hopefully explain everything in detail about all of my tanks. So I love having the two, and I have lots of fun with all of them. So yeah.
I don't know why, but I just find shorter length videos so much harder to make. I don't know what it is, but if I can't open up and expand on a topic, it's so much more difficult for me. But that's just me, apparently. Question 6, which isn't really a question at all, but I want you to say this in an American accent. My favorite thing about America is hot dogs and cheeseburgers, and Remy is pretty cool too.
My favorite thing about America has to be the hot dogs and cheeseburgers. Remy is pretty cool too. There we go. I don't think I've ever actually properly tried, so there you go.
All I know how to say with an Australian accent is "Arnar," or "I'm the crocodile, Anna," or "the crocodile, Anna." See, my accent is just as bad. King Taylor says, not having a local reefing shop near you to learn from, how have you taught yourself? YouTube? Trial and error?
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that's been really hard, is that I am down south, 4.5 hours away from Perth, which is, our Sydney equivalent over here in WA. So 4.5 hours drive away from any decent reefing stores, coral stores, fish stores. I mean, we've got a couple of, chain store fish shops down here, but nothing compared to what you've got up in the city. So it does make it tricky in terms of, up in Perth, you'd be meeting with, the stores who have people working there that know so much and have so much knowledge to share. So it has felt a little bit isolated at times. But I guess, that's why I love YouTube and YouTube channels. I think they're such a great idea to be able to, connect with people over in different countries, learn from people all over the world. Just a lot of Googling, a lot of YouTubing, and there are a few people down in Albany that I've found over the years that do have reef tanks, and that's been really good to finally find some people close by that you can lean on if you need to, share things around, share the love around of our reefing hobby. So anyway, but it's just one of those things. But definitely the internet, YouTube, Google has been my very best friend.
I just always feel like there are multiple avenues for learning new things. YouTube is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
It's my chosen venue. That's where I like to learn new things. But there are plenty of outlets if you don't have an LFS near you. Question number 8 from me. I always find creating content more difficult as my kids get older and get into more activities. Lauren, you've obviously got a family. How do you find time for your hobby? Do your friends and family think it's weird?
Yes, well, my family and friends do think I'm super weird. I'm okay with that. I'm the crazy fish lady. But yeah, no, you're right. As the kids get older and they have bigger social lives than us, and you know, soccer, dance, and after school activities, just never ending. But I love it. And you know, last year I was working 5 days a week, and then on the weekends trying to squeeze in doing a YouTube video on the weekend when I'm, you know, running the kids around here, there, and everywhere. And so this year I actually decided to drop down to 4 days a week, so that I could dedicate a day to making videos. So I was free on the weekend to just fully enjoy being with the kids and being a mum. So yeah, but it is nice to, you know, have something else apart from being a mum and, you know, working and all that sort of stuff. Do something that's my passion and hobby. You know, I think makes all the difference. So I absolutely love it. But yeah, definitely the family and friends all think I'm a bit crazy, but that's all right. I know I am.
The most fun times I have in this hobby are getting together at Aquashella or frag swaps or things like that, because you know that everybody is like-minded for the most part, so you can nerd out heavily on this hobby. Question number 9, we call them mushrooms or shrooms in America. I know that Aussies usually say morphs or corallomorphs. What are some names or reefing terms that are different in Australia versus the US?
Yeah, different terms. Yeah, definitely. I think we say it right. You guys just not so right. I remember when I first started doing Instagram and stuff like that, I went out and said, this is how we first started chatting, as I went out and said, how do you say water? Because we say it properly, and I did that water challenge, and you jumped on and said, you know, in your American accent, how to say water, and it's just funny how we say things differently. But yeah, I can't actually think of anything else apart from you guys using gallons instead of liters, which is just unbelievable.
Question number 10, as a creator, what are some of the goals that you have for yourself next year?
It's probably a bit naughty of me, but I haven't really set, you know, a goal, a subscriber goal or anything. I hit 10,000 subscribers, which was my goal for this year, halfway through the year. So I think for the rest of this year, I'm just coasting, if I'm allowed to say that. Just see what happens. I've had lots of exciting projects happening. Like I've just gotten a new koi pond upgrade. So just been getting all of that up and running. I think maybe beginning of next year, once I've got things settled down like that all happening, I might knuckle down and, you know, set a subscriber goal or something like that. But I think I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I have lots of fun making, you know, what I make, and yeah, just sort of see where it takes me, I guess. So yeah.
All right, a bonus question for you before we get out of here. There's all these celebrities going to space right now, at least for a few minutes as they're in space in zero gravity. Would you ever take a trip to space?
Nah, I'd get bored, 100%. If you could just pop up there for the Arvo, yes, it would be amazing, beautiful. But I think it's the time that it takes to get up there. And yeah, I think I'd just get bored, stuck on that little spaceship. I know you can get out of it. Nah, it's just not something, unless they can do it in super ultrasonic speed time in my lifetime, then yes, I might consider it. But nah, for now, quite happy down here. Would you?
I would totally go in a heartbeat. It sounds like so much fun. And the fact that the whole entire ride is like 12 minutes and you don't have to devote like 3 months of your life to get to the moon or Mars or wherever, I would totally do that. Lauren, thank you so much for joining me today and answering some questions.
Nah, thanks so much, Remy. It's been so much fun. Thanks so much for letting me take over your channel for this video. But yeah, thanks so much, and for all of your support, so thank you.
All right, who do you want to hear from next? And I want to kind of focus on smaller YouTube channels or even hobbyists that I might not be able to get to from a travel standpoint. So if you or a friend of yours or a YouTube channel that you follow that is smaller, you want to see them on 10 Questions With on my channel, go ahead and comment below who that is. No offense to the big guys, but I feel like we've heard from a lot of the big guys in this hobby, and I really want to get to know some of those YouTube channels and some of those reefers that are on the rise right now. Don't miss a thing when you like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you know whenever I upload new videos. I do want to say thanks to Fritz for helping out the channel and supporting the channel through the last couple years. I really appreciate it. Also, you know who hasn't done an interview in a long time? Scott Crow. I'm not sure if he's ever done an interview on this channel. I think we've talked to him briefly in some videos, but I think we need to do a 10 questions with Scott Crow. I know he's a little bit bigger, but you know. Scott, if you're watching this, 10 questions with featuring you. Okay, thanks. So I have some paint, and you're gonna start noticing some changes here in the background, which is fun. Phase 2 of the basement reno is in the making, and I think I've finally found a patch of time and motivation to start the process and do this whole thing. I mean, we've already done phase 1. You can check out that video. It's on the channel. You can see what we've changed. Like I've said in the previous video here, you've noticed that this tank has had a blue damsel in it for just a little bit, testing the waters, literally testing the waters, and that's where Uno and Dos will go here in a little bit. But that'll be in the phase 2 video, and so will the nice new color of the background. So that's all gonna be in the future, and thank you so much for watching, and like and subscribe, and all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. So there's lots of things happening.